We have business IGCSE. We go to chapter 1. Are we there?
Yeah.
I can go. Yeah, business activity. So for business activity, basically we're talking about what businesses are involved in. That is what business activity is. What do they do? That's what business activity is about. So let's just go down first. It said the economic problem needs one scarcity and opportunity cost. When we check business activity and they are trying to talk about economic problems. So economic problem, it means we can't get to talking about business activity without talking about this problem. Do you get it? This is not where we're going. But whatever we do as businesses, we need to understand how to manage resources because resources are limited in supply. That is the fact about the basic economic problem, scarcity. So as a result, because there's scarcity, it means that businesses that want to really involve themselves in production of goods and services must know how to manage resources, must take decisions about how resources will be used. And when we're talking about resources here, we're talking about the factors of production. So let's see. So we start with the economic problem. They said the real cause. I'm just going to go down and yeah, the real cost. They said the real cause of the shortage or scarcity of goods and services is that there are not enough factors of production. So the problem about scarcity, the economic problem is about not having enough factors of production. So factors of production are not enough. So this makes it difficult for businesses to produce goods and services that would be enough for the population. That is why we have to pay price. That's why we have to pay higher prices or sometimes on goods. Because goods might become exclusive based on the fact that it is not always available. So that's about that. So what are these factors of production we're talking about? We're talking about land, labor, capital, and enterprise. For land, this is natural, fixed in nature. So anything on land is land. So land, to you, you might think land is everywhere. Land might be everywhere, but the usefulness of land might be scarce. So you might have land here, but it's not useful for a certain purpose. For the fact that it's not useful for that purpose that it's needed right here, it makes it to be scarce. Yeah. Do you get the point I'm making there? Then labor, we're talking about the physical effort, people that want to work, people that work. They are not always available. So that means workers, the people that you have to engage, you have to pay them because they are not going to be there for free because it's scarce. The third point, capital. When we talk about capital, we're talking about money invested into the business, equipment used in the business, machines used in the business. All these things increases production of goods and services. Then we have enterprise, which involves the skills of entrepreneurs, which involves risk taking. So you might have land, you might have labor, and you might have land, labor, and capital. Without an individual taking that risk to put these resources together, then there's no production. Mm-hmm. So all the factors of production mentioned are important for the process of for the production of goods and services. That's why I said factors of production are resources needed for the production of goods and services. So if there's an enterprise, if there's an entrepreneur without land, without labor, there's no production. So whatever we have that has been produced involves factors of production. Even the pen that I'm holding, all the factors of production are used to make this pen. The company that makes this pen, that's the enterprise. The owner of the company is an entrepreneur. This is a plastic or a rubber, the ink, they are from land, natural resources. This is not done by man. It should have been put together with some machine and whatever it is, it's labor. So all the factors of production are part of what we have here. Even education, my teaching here involves all the factors of production. I'm a teacher, that is labor. I'm using a laptop, that is capital. We are involved in payment. That's wages or salary. Yes. Someone is going to pay for that. Yes or no? Yes. So whatever we do, whatever it is, involves all the factors of production. That is the point there. I think it's clear. Mm-hmm. So we go down. Limited resources, they need to choose. Because we already know that there's scarcity. So that means we have to make choices. Scarcity scarcity means that things are not always available. So because they are not always available, we need to make choices based on how important things are at the present situation. So that is why we have to make choices. So making a choice brings about opportunity cost. You get it? There's scarcity. Because of scarcity, people have to choose. That means we cannot have everything at any point in time. As a result, we have to decide on what we can have now and what we would refer to at a later time. That means we have chosen to have this now. Like we choose to do business now and global perspective. Then we'll be doing sociology and math at a later time. So that means we make a choice because we cannot do everything at the same time. The resources are not available to do them at the same time. Yes. Do you understand? So as a result, we have made a choice. Making a choice means that there's going to be an opportunity cost. So whatever decisions we make, whatever decision it is that we make, as an individual, as a business, as government, there's always an opportunity cost. I think that is clear. Yes. So that's the point there. So opportunity cost, we already know what it means. It means the next best alternative that is forgone. So we have made the choice. The choice we made is the real cost. That is what we're having now. Then the choice that is left, that is not made at this time, is the opportunity cost. I think it's clear. Yes. All right. So we'll go down. The importance of, we'll go straight to, let's go down. These ones are not important. Then we'll go to the importance of specialization, the best use of limited resources. Resources are scarce. Yes or no? Yeah. Because resources are scarce, we need to employ people who would be able to manage these resources. If not, they will be used up. The scarcity. The only way out to manage scarcity is through specialization. That brings us about specialization here. Do you get the point here? Yes, sir. So yeah, specialization means what? Concentration of an individual, firm, or government, or a country in one aspect of production. So because you are concentrated in one aspect, it gives you the opportunity not to waste resources because you are doing what you know how to do best. So it's just like, I'm a business teacher, I'm teaching business. I'm not going to waste your time finding terms to use, finding some materials to put together to teach you, finding a YouTube channel to watch to teach you. I'm going to waste your time. I'm going to waste my time. But because I know what I am doing, because this is my specialty, I wouldn't waste people's time. Do you get the point here? So specialization brings about reducing wastage because the time is not always available. But if I have to spend my whole time searching on what to teach you, part of your time is going. So how am I going to be able to reach there in May? Do you understand? Yeah. So with specialization, resources that are limited in supply will be managed efficiently. Do you get it now? Yeah. That is the point they are making here. So how do we get to specialization? We can't just arrive. We can't arrive at specialization. We will get there through division of labor. So that means we have to break down production process into different stages, and each stage can be performed by each person. So because we have broke down the production process, it allows you to be the math teacher, it allows you to be the business teacher, it allows him or her to be the economics teacher. So he or she concentrates on economics. So he's not going to divert, or she's not going to divert into other subjects. So you continue to teach business and you become better in it. Do you understand? So with division of labor, there comes specialization. So division of labor will lead to specialization. So if firms are thinking about managing limited resources through specialization, they have to start with division of labor. Yeah. Is it clear? So that takes us to the advantages of division of labor. The first advantage is here. The first advantage: workers are trained in one task and specialize in this. So this increases efficiency and output. Like I told you earlier, we said division of labor means breaking down production processes, right? So as soon as production processes are broken down, it means I will concentrate on what I know how to do. You concentrate on what you know how to do. He concentrates on what he knows how to do. So we're not going to need, I'm not going to need to train you on what you don't need to know. So we're not going to waste time. We're not going to waste resources. We're not going to waste money training you on what you don't need. So, oh, you want to be a math teacher, then you go to the math college, you go to the math training programs, and that's all. So that is what you concentrate on. That's the first point there. So workers will be trained on that aspect that they would use as their function. Do you get the first point? Yes. The second one, it says less time is wasted moving from one workbench to another. Because you are specialized now, you won't need to move into different job functions. So you will be there doing what you know how to do. You're not going to finish this and try to go do that. Everyone will have his own specialty.
You concentrate more
on. So you won't waste time.
Yeah.
Do you get the second point?
Yes.
And the third point, quicker and cheaper to train workers as fewer skills needed to be taught. Like I said earlier, so now we don't have to teach you what you don't need. You need, we know you, we know the skills you've got, then you will be trained based on that skill. Do you get the point here? So the skills are there. What is being expected of you, you have the qualities. So what you need is just some training to, to improve the skills you have. So we don't have to start finding what is not. This is what specialization would lead to, or division of labor. I think it's clear. Then what are the problems about specialization? The first problem about specialization or division of labor is boredom. You get bored. When you continue to do the same thing, you could get tired of it. It could get boring to you. But to me, teaching is not boring. Teaching is just a way of life. So it's a passion. So I don't see like I'm doing the same thing, because I will teach in different ways, because I'm going to meet different students. But here we're talking about why division of labor might lead to boredom. When you continue to do the same thing, repeated job function, you get tired of it. And when you get tired, it reduces your efficiency. So it will affect productivity. That is the first problem about division of labor. Do you get the point here? Yes. Workers, when they get bored or tired about something, they don't put more effort. That's the first point. The second point, they said product, okay. The second point, product might stop. Yes, I wrote production might stop. Mm-hmm. Production might stop as it involves reliance on specific workers, because you are specialized on this. He is the business teacher, you are the math teacher. So for any time you don't come to the math class, he cannot take your position. So math stops that day. So production might stop because of reliance on specialist workers. That is the point there. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So because we rely mostly on those people that take up specific tasks, whenever they are not available, we become vulnerable. Do you get the point there? Yes. So that's another problem about division of labor. I think it's clear. Mm-hmm. So now, this takes us to the purpose of business activity. So we've identified the following issues. People have unlimited ones. The 4 factors of production: scarcity, choice, specialization. So far, we have hardly mentioned businesses. And yet, this is the purpose of this book. So, yes. The purpose of, so let me just forget about what they said. What we need to, because now we've talked about factors of production, we've talked about scarcity, we've talked about specialization, we've talked about, what else? We've talked about division of labor, okay? Yeah. So now, all these things we've talked about will be used by businesses. So whatever business activity we're talking about, the purpose of any business activity is to make products that will satisfy the needs and wants of customers. Yes or no? Yes. So how are you going to be able to make these products? You need to make these products using factors of production. Mm-hmm. Finding specialized workers to be able to manage resources. If not, resources will be used up. If not, you continue to increase, you incur more costs. Yeah. So that's where we're going now. So what does business activity involve? Business activity involves okay. All right. So what does business activity involve? Business activity involves combining scarce factors of production to produce goods and services. We said these resources are scarce. Because they are scarce, we need to combine them to be able to produce goods and services. That's the first reason for business activity. The second one is to produce goods and services which are needed to satisfy the needs of the population. So who are we producing for? We're producing for consumers. Who are the consumers? We're talking about the population. So this is what business activity involves. And the third one is to employ people. Why do you employ people? You employ them to carry out your business objectives. You can't do it all alone. You want to produce, you cannot produce. You can't be the entrepreneur and still be the worker. You can't. So you need people to work for you, to carry out your objectives, to achieve your objectives. So that means you need workers. So workers would want to work because they also have specific needs. They have wants, they have to consume. So they're going to work for you, at the same time be able to consume or to spend on themselves too. So that means they will be able to buy what they are not producing. Did we get it?
Yes.
So that's what business activity involves. Business activity involves combining scarce resources to be able to produce goods and what? Business activity involves producing goods and services to meet the needs of customers. And business activity also involves employing workers so that they can even buy goods and services and they can achieve your business objective. Is it clear?
Yes.
So that takes us to added value. Added value is not profit, but it is what could allow a business to make profit. Do you get what I'm saying there? Added value is not, added value is not a profit, but it is what could allow a business to make profits. So that's why I said added value is the difference between the selling price of a product and the cost of bought-in raw materials.
Cost of production.
Yeah, the cost of those resources that you bought.
Yeah.
Or the components. So for a business to achieve or to have added value, you would have improved your quality of the quality of your product. You would have given certain services that consumers will feel like, oh, they are paying for, they feel like they are enjoying the value for their money. That is when added value will come into your business. So here I wrote, why is added value important? It is important because it allows the sales revenue to exceed the cost of materials bought in by the business. So because we call it added value, the importance of added value is that it allows you to have more revenue that would exceed your cost of bought in raw materials. That is one. So when there's added value for a business, the first thing it does is that it allows a business to pay other costs, like labor costs, eating and lighting. Other costs will be paid because now your revenue is exceeding your cost. Do you get the first point here? So the second point I wrote is that it allows the business to also make profit. How is a business going to make profit with added value? A business will be able to make profit if the cost of bought-in material is less than the revenue made. Do you get the point here? So as a business, as soon as you have added value, the cost of your raw material would have fallen in the cost of you having more revenue, which allows you to make profit. I think it's clear. Yes. So how will a business be able to achieve, or how will a business be able to increase its added value? So to increase your added value, what are those things you have to do? One, you can increase the selling price of your products while allowing your cost of raw materials or your cost price to remain the same. Listen, for you to add value, you can increase the price of your product. Increasing the price of your product, and while the cost of raw materials or the cost of production remains the same. This can only be achieved if you have added quality to your product. That makes that is so glaring to customers that, oh, this product deserves this amount. The customers will be willing to pay.
But sometimes I think quality is when you want to like level up the quality, you need to spend more on that product, so it's increasing the cost, right?
Yeah, that would increase the cost. But at the same time, you are increasing the price. That is not added value.
So when they both go up, it doesn't.
It doesn't add value.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yes.
But we're talking about what could make a product, what could make your revenue to increase. That is what added value is about. So either you increase the price of your product and make the cost of raw materials remain the same. But to do this, you talked about quality. Like if you add quality, that means you might increase the price. Yes, sometimes quality might not even come through cost. Quality might be even services.
Yeah.
Oh, you purchase an iPhone for 2,000 and sold for 2,300, and the company tells you that anytime you want to do the services, you bring it to us. So that is an added value. So you're going to pay 2,300. Believe me, you might not even have to take it there, but for the fact that the service has been proposed to you, you would not think about paying 2,300 because you think like, oh yeah, they're giving me an added value. So your friends are bought it for 2,000, but you're going to pay 2,300 because you could go back there to repair it or to service it. So when added value comes in, businesses are charging more, but they make customers to feel like they are helping customers. That is what added value is about.
Yes.
So customers will be willing to pay such price. Do you get it?
Yes.
So that's the first point. Then the second one is reducing the cost of raw material and making the price the same. The problem about reducing the cost of production is that when you reduce the problem about reducing the cost of production is that when you reduce the cost of production, it might affect the quality of your raw materials. So will customers be willing to pay for a product that the quality is questionable? Do you get it? They won't see it as an added value to them. They won't see it as them enjoying the value for their money.
So decrease the revenue. That
will decrease the revenue. So you have to think about it. Do you understand? Yes. So that is how to improve the added value. The second one is more risky.
Risky than the first
one, yes. So that's all about chapter 1.